You don't want to have that conversation, but you have to. So here are 10 tips for delivering criticism with care. And these are in the context of the workplace, but really these 10 tips apply anywhere, whether at home or on the ball field, whether you're at church or any place that communication happens. These principles transcend. Here's the first one. Do it privately. Public criticism of an employee's work is humiliating and infuriating. Besides that, in our hyper-litigious society, it can, in some cases, lead to charges of defamation. Always deliver negative feedback privately. Second, if possible, do it personally. It's usually a mistake to deliver criticism by email or sticky note or instant messaging or some other impersonal means. To an employee, that's cowardly. It's an attempt to preclude any discussion about the merits of your feedback. By contrast, a personal one-on-one discussion encourages dialogue and can promote greater understanding. Third, get right to the point. Most employees know when their boss has a problem with them. When you call in an employee but then tiptoe around what's really on your mind, it's both transparent and frustrating to this person. So if you can, get right to the point. Fourth, keep it in the context of positive performance. It's essential that your employee understands that you see not only the deficiencies but also his or her contribution to the organization. To communicate this, a standard managerial line is, "I think you're doing great with 90% of the work I've assigned to you. What we're going to talk about in the next few minutes, though, is the other 10%. Next, speak in terms of I, not you. Speaking in the first person is an invaluable tool for reducing defensiveness. Structure your criticisms in terms of how you feel rather than what your employee has allegedly done. A statement like, "I'm having trouble understanding this section of your report," tends to be less offensive than receiving to the receiving ears than something like, "You're not making sense in this section of the report." The former approach communicates the same information, but puts the onus on you as much as it does on them, rather than heaping all of it on the other person. Next, be specific. Abstract criticisms like, "You're performing well below average," won't serve your managerial goals nearly as well as more specific feedback. Rather than categorize the performance, like well below average, be specific about what's expected and contrast that with objective facts about what the employee has accomplished. This will bring into sharper focus the problem that the two of you need to address. Next, stick to the facts. Sticking to the facts means being objective and avoiding speculative judgments about the causes of misbehavior or underperformance. Talk about what you know to be true and what you can support with evidence. Here's tip number 8. Don't twist the knife. There's no need to repeat criticisms over and over again in the same discussion. Your employee gets the idea. Also, stick to one problem per conversation if possible, and avoid resurrecting old problems that have already been resolved. People often perceive such piling on as unnecessary and unfair. Ninth, jointly craft a solution, if at all possible. After talking about the problem, try to involve your employee in solving it, instead of just dictating the next steps. When a person has helped craft a solution, that person tends to be more committed to the solution. So pinpoint the problem and then discuss some mutually agreeable goals as a baseline against which you can evaluate future performance. Also, if appropriate, jointly design a development plan to equip this person to perform better. And lastly, offer feedback regularly. Of course, feedback is a tool that you should use a lot more than once or twice a year. Ideally, it should be a seamless activity. When you see an employee doing something wrong or right, let them know about it immediately, or to correct it or to reinforce that behavior. For more information on communicating with employees or management generally, check out the book Management by Proverbs, available through this website and wherever books are sold.